Thank you. Old man still got some hops.
You never shoot that far away.
Shoot it, bro. Shoot it. Shoot it. Shoot it. Shoot it.
Don't listen to Dad.
I did it! That was awesome!
Oh, you made it.
3.
Wasting this time that I borrowed, running too fast for the sun, and my eyes they still burn for tomorrow. Ooh. Will come alive. I'm keeping up.
The leaves on the maple trees have never been so red in the time that we've owned our land up here. The color of the leaves this time of year seem to reflect how much rain we've had. A normal September typically consists of at least a few inches of rain. A few years back, we had one September with over 6 inches of rain. This September, we've had almost no measurable rainfall. Because of this, it seems the maple trees have colors that I've never seen before. The reds in the leaves are almost unbelievable, but it seems to come with a cost. There's smoke in the air and fires burning not too far away. While we love the beauty all around us, in the back of my head there's a minor concern about how dry it is. We need rain, as do many other places right now. As we do not have any air conditioning, we typically sleep with the windows open. But by morning time, it's almost too cold, so I find myself leaving the windows with just a small crack. A few nights ago, I woke up because I smelled smoke. We really haven't begun to use the wood-burning stove yet, so the smell of wood smoke had me concerned. At nearly 2 o'clock in the morning, I slipped some shoes on, I went outside with the headlamp, and I began looking around for this source of smoke. Now I've become accustomed to the smell of wood smoke. The smell that I smelled that woke me out of bed was wood smoke that was burning close by. My initial fear was the using of the welder and or the torch around our firewood pile and around the shop may have caught fire. The firewood pile was the first place I went. Thank heavens, nothing on fire there. I then checked the shop for any possible source of this wood smoke. Again, found nothing. The end result was I walked around with my shoes on and my headlamp on at 2 o'clock in the morning and found nothing. But it's been on my mind since that things are that dry, and maybe I need to be a little bit more careful with the welder and the torch. I have a close friend of mine that lives not far from our place, who happens to be about 86 years old. I thoroughly enjoy sitting and talking with this particular person because he's lived a good life and he has much more experience than I have, and he regularly teaches me things that I didn't know.
So because it's so warm, the weather's so warm, it says it's 73 outside, but it feels like it's 90. The surface of the shop is warm. It's perfect conditions to install the Grace Ultra underlayment. My plan was to work on the steel structure for the porch over the firewood, but I feel like I can probably get this done, get all the underlayment put down in the next couple of hours. And we are supposed to have a good 4 or 5 more days of very warm temperatures. You can install this Grace Ultra down to 40 degrees, but the warmer the better, and the better the stuff works, or it adheres better. So this stuff is really good stuff. This is basically going to guarantee that I never have to do this again, and so I want to make sure and do it right.
As I occasionally go to his home, I've noticed a few things. First and foremost, that it's a beautiful home. I've also noticed his firewood pile. On top of his firewood pile, I've also noticed that he has a number of propane tanks around his house. Somewhere around 5,000 to 7,000 gallons. The more time I've spent around this man, the more I've realized that he's prepared for most challenges that are likely to come his way. He doesn't burn very much firewood anymore, yet he still has the ability to burn firewood. He once told me that the pile of firewood that he had at his house currently has been moved over 200 miles on 2 different occasions. I chuckled and thought that was funny. I asked him why he'd moved his firewood pile 2 different times, and he asked me if I'd ever been cold before. I knew exactly what he was talking about. This man grew up very poor. His father died very young. Responsibilities came his way whether he liked it or not. As he grew up in cold country, I can only imagine how hard it was for him at times to stay warm. Using firewood as your only source of heat can be a challenge, yet very rewarding, and your firewood pile can become so important to you. And you may be inclined to move that firewood pile a couple times over a couple 100 miles just to know for sure that you're going to be warm. Living in cold country most definitely has its challenges. We've learned, and we're still learning, to live with the snow. I feel that it's one way or the other. I feel that either you have the ability to handle the heat, like I did for many years in Arizona, or you have the ability to handle the extreme cold, like we're doing now. But once it gets up over 90 degrees, for me, it's hard to tolerate those temperatures. It seems that once your body acclimates to the cold, maybe it's a little bit harder to acclimate to the heat. Either way, getting the awning built over the firewood is something that must happen very soon. We have not had rain in quite some time, but I'm certain it's coming. I can see it on the horizon. The leaves are changing, the overnight temperatures are dropping. It's simply a matter of time. If I don't do something to protect our firewood from the weather, that's going to create more challenges. I got the beam welded in place. Whether I like it or not, the angle has been chosen, and truthfully, I'm not crazy about the angle, but it'll protect our firewood. This coming week, I've got to get the awning or the porch finished over the firewood, and I've got to get the roof dried in the rest of the way. I'm using the Grace Ultra underlayment on top of the roof. I don't believe there's a better product made for an underlayment. It's a peel and stick underlayment, but it's also incredibly durable and easy to install. This will guarantee that the roof I put on the shop will last the rest of my lifetime. Cedar's older brother, wife, and a couple of their kids came and spent a few days with us. Her older brother's a general contractor, and over the last 4 years that I've been working on different projects around my house, there have been 2 people more than anybody else that I've called with different questions. Cedar's older brother Brady is one of those people.
What if this breaks?
Huh?
What if this breaks?
What if what breaks?
He has a knowledge of the trades like few people do.
Oh, I don't like this.
You gonna pull the screens off and do the screens while you're at it?
He helped me install the French door on the back of the shop while he was here. But truthfully, Brady and his wife Melissa came up to help out with Cedar as she's in recovery right now. A few weeks back, while I had the telehandler that I borrowed from my friend, Cedar asked me if I would raise her up to clean the windows. While standing on a pallet, I lifted her up high enough to clean the windows. Some of these little things, like taking the stickers off the window, make things feel just a little bit more permanent. We are rapidly approaching our second winter living full-time here at Red Poppy Ranch. I hope that we've learned from some of the challenges that we had last winter, but I'm certain there's still things left to be learned. Hopefully this time next week, the Grace Ultra underlayment is installed, the awning over the firewood is finished, and maybe, just maybe, we'll have a little bit more firewood piled up.